What's going on? It's Fresca. It's Q102, the throwback station. And this is actually really, really cool for me because I have some very, very talented MMA fighters in the house today. We got Liam McGeary in the house and, of course, Tito Ortiz.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. How you doing?
This is a trip because you guys are going to be fighting. Is it September 19th?
19th, yeah.
19th at the SAP, Bellator MMA. And is this a trip like promoting the fight together? I mean, you're supposed to be...
Best way to do it. What, we're not supposed to hate each other? We got 3 months to do that.
Exactly.
It's business, strictly business, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a professional. I've been doing this stuff for 18 years, you know?
I'm a professional. I've been doing this for 2.
You know, I guess Liam's learning the ropes. So I'm one of the best. So.
Exactly. And who better to learn it from, you know?
Yeah.
And then I get to beat him up on September 19th.
At least he thinks
Wow.
that, so it's okay. The confidence is good, especially when they're, he's not that young, but, you know, when they're new in the sport.
The beard makes you look old.
Fear the beard? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, though, because you have been in the game a long time, Tito, and Liam's undefeated, 10-0, and you're like 18 fights, or 18 wins,
18-11-1. I've had over 30 fights.
And, I don't think you have anything to prove because you've done so much in another league, in the UFC, but, what do you... What do you expect going into this fight with Liam?
I expect a tough fight. I expect, one of the toughest fights of my life, fighting a world champion, someone who's undefeated, someone who has proven it 10 times over that he's unbeatable. And my goal is to win, I just have a lot in my mind goal set in my mind, and over the last 2 years, things have just been accomplished one after another, and it seemed like it just meant to happen. This fight I asked for, I pretty much begged Scott Croker for. I could have had easier fights by fighting someone like Kimbo Slice or Kent Shamrock or Frank Shamrock, but that was junk. Why do that? I want to fight the best to show that I still am one of the best. I've been in this game for a long time, and Liam's the best. So on September 19th, I'm going to prove that Mexican Americans can be champions again.
There it is. I like that. What about you, Liam? He's a vet in the game, has a lot of experience, and you've seen him fight. You've grown up in the game watching him. So, to be basically competing against him now. What's going through your mind?
Excitement. I'm looking forward to this fight. It couldn't come any quicker. He's Tito Ortiz. He's been around in the game for a long time. Mm-hmm. I'm just starting out, so I just kind of want to leapfrog him. It's time for the new age, the new breed fighters to come through. And Tito's like the old breed fighter. I'm the new breed fighter. So. But
you seem like a pretty humble guy. Is he pretty humble, Tito?
Yeah, he is. Really
Because some new, folks that don't have as much experience as you, they run their mouth, and it's...
He actually is pretty cool.
There's no need to run my mouth against him,
No, but I like that.
He's better at shit talking than me as well.
Because I want to say that the Bonner fight, I was like, can you please put this dude out?
Yeah, see, then that's another thing. That's someone I still can't be in. I can't even be around the guy. The guy's a complete dirtbag. For him to
that was wrong.
Try to talk the things he said about my character.
I know.
And lie the way he did. It was just it'll come around. I just waited, and at the time, probably about 2 weeks before, I was sparring. I just the glove nicked my eye, and I got a detached retina. And I still fought anyways. That's how bad I hated the guy. I was going to suffer my eye because of it. And I had to shut him up, and I fought with straight anger. There was no technique at all. I fought with hard anger, and I just tried to kill him with every single punch. There was no setup on anything. I just wanted to murder the guy. And I still dislike the guy. He's a scumbag. But at the same time, Liam's a great champion. And September 19th, he talks about hopping like a frog, and they're giving no lily pad on September 19th, I'll tell you that.
Well, can we talk about other stuff? Do you guys want to keep it more?
Whatever you like to talk about.
Because we're a throwback station. We play all the stuff from 88 to 2010, somewhere around there. What are some of your favorite throwbacks? What music do you listen to, first of all?
I listen to everything. Throwback. I think about Tupac. Picture Me Rolling, that's my number one.
That
is one of my number one. The reason why, because I remember, back in 94, I think 95, I think when it just came out, we bought the CD, and I was going to Lake Havasu, And I was with one of my buddies, and before I even fought. And I remember, and I was like, watch this one day. I go, you're gonna close your eyes, you're gonna be pitching me rolling. And and it's a trip. I mean,
have you ever walked out to that song?
No, I never walked out to that song. To me, it's like I gotta find something that finds me emotional. You know, every one of my songs that I walk out to is actually Mosh from Eminem. I listen to the lyrics, you know, of a lot of things he's been through. I see a lot of transitions and a lot of relations that I've gone through my life. You know, I came up with a fatherless past. My father was never there for me, and I put the sport on the map and done successful things. There's a lot of other fighters who look up to me because of that, and I just work as hard as I possibly can. You know, being a single father with twin boys, it's difficult, but at the same time, it pushes me each and every day. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I fight. But you know, like I said, go back to talking about the song of from Picture Me Rolling is just, you know, him rolling in a BMW or a Mercedes. I mean, I have a Phantom. I mean, I have a Porsche. I mean, I live in a nice house on the water in Huntington. I just remember as a kid sitting down fishing on one of the docks, going to tell my buddies one day I'm gonna own a house here, and like, shut up and bait the hook. And
you're like, picture me rolling.
It took me 15 years, and it's funny because probably about 10 years ago when I was the world champion, one of my friends that was in the car with me, and I sat down, we were listening in my car, you remember that day, dude? And he started laughing. He's like, I can't believe you still remember that. But I never forgot. It's just, when you set goals like that in your life, and you're able to achieve those things, and you look about it, you know, is it meant to happen? I mean, yeah, hard work, dedication does make that become reality, but you know, was it destined no matter what? In my eyes, I think so. Everything's destined in my eyes. I just work for it. And if I don't work for it, I don't take shortcuts. It happens.
But you guys are both champions, so what do you think has put you guys over the top? Because there's so many people that, I mean, MMA is just growing so much. The whole combat sports thing is growing so much. And there's so many people that are like, you know what, I'm gonna fight in the UFC, I'm gonna fight Bellator, I'm gonna be, you know. What separates what you guys do from the guys down here? And when I say guys, I mean women too, like everybody that's trying to come up in the game, that like thinks it's easy. There's so many adversities. What have you guys personally, like, you feel you've given that most people are not willing to do?
There's always red tape. Every time you're trying to move forward in something, there's always red tape, something trying to stop you. Whether it be legal things or mental things, there's always blockages, and people are always telling you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, it's the person who pushes past that. The person who says, you know what, I'm not going to listen to you, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. He says, you know, you've got to believe in yourself. I've always said you've got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then who the hell's going to believe in you, you know? So you just got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, no matter what stops you, no matter what gets in your way. Go over it, go under it, go around it, just figure stuff out and just keep moving forward. That's all I've ever gone by.
No, yeah, and 100%. It's, you got to think outside the box. A lot of these guys just think about, you know, I go and I fight and that's it, and I want to get paid millions of dollars. BS, man. You got to do everything outside of the box of, you know, making your name household name. That's what I've always tried to do, is make my name a household name. You know, in professional boxing, there was Muhammad Ali. You know, in professional boxing, there was Muhammad Ali. In professional wrestling, there was Hulk Hogan. And in mixed martial arts, there's Tito Ortiz. I've set my goals to make that happen over the 18 years. I've done diligent work, working with the troops, doing charity work, everything I possibly can do to make this happen, and not being selfish by doing it, but being giving. I mean, I'm an Aquarius to a T. I help out people. I give with my friends. I'm always giving. Sometimes I got to take a step back and really think about myself. And over this last 2 years, I have, you know, thought about my kids and my family. I made a huge decision of stepping away from my ex-girlfriend. A lot of people know her, Jenna Jameson. I tried to help a woman that really didn't want to be helped, and I had to make a decision for my children's future. You know, my parents were drug addicts, and they went through some very troublesome times. They didn't want to grow up, and I don't want to put my kids through the same thing that I went through as a kid. And I made the change, and I did that. And over the last 2 years, my mind has been so clean, so straight. Life is normal for once, and I'm very, very thankful. I don't know, is it God, or is it just my destiny and myself of just trying to be a better man and give my kids everything that I never had as a child? And I'm doing some right things so far. My kids are flourishing like no other in school, and they're happy. You know, and they run over me and jump on me and say, I love you, Dad.
That's the best.
It's cool. It's the best in the world.
Do you have kids, Liam?
No children yet.
What about I'm a mom too, so I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're a mom, but I'm a parent too.
Yo, mama, what's
I
up?
should correct myself.
Yeah, my mama, yeah.
But you crazy. Okay, but I mean, do you feel that what happens in the ring humbles you guys even more? Because some people just don't know when to.
There's a respect. Once you punch somebody in the face, there's a respect. You know, you've both traded punches, so like in training as well. If you train with somebody and you're just walking into the gym, you're just meeting them, you hit them in the face, they hit you. Afterwards, there's that respect there, which is it's hard to explain unless you're a fighter. You don't know what levels it goes to, you know. And it's like you're boys, you know. It's like you've shared something. It's violence, but you've shared it, and you both felt the pain, so you both know exactly where you stand with each other, you know?
There's a lot of courage to go in there and compete against another man to see who the better man is. And when it's all said and done, it's a respect value because you know how you guys went through training camp, what you guys took to get there, and, you know, draw, split decision, knockout, TKO, whatever it was.
How political is it really?
Bellator is zero politics in it at all.
Nice.
UFC, the politics were like no other thing. It made me retire, made me walk away. I had to walk away because I got sick getting bullied. You know, every single position there was, I was getting bullied, and I had to walk away. And I know there's a lot of UFC fans that were bummed about it, but now they jumped ship and now they're Bellator fans. And I get respect from Bellator. I get respect from Spike TV. I get respect from Viacom, who are the owners of all of it. And it's nice to have respect. At the end of the day, as a fighter, all I have is my fans. That's it. I want to be respected because I've done so much in this game in such a, I think, a short amount of time, because it seems so short, but it's been 18 years. And
because you made your UFC debut in like 1997?
May 30th, 1997. And I fought for free. I was the only UFC fighter in UFC history to ever fight for free.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
And I fought to keep my wrestling scholarship because I was in college at the time. And I did it because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see how good I could do it. And I stopped my first guy in 22 seconds. And then I fought in the finals. I got caught with a submission after a breakup that it shouldn't have happened, I guess. But that's beginning of my career. I was a kid. I was young. I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was back then. All I did was wrestle and I boxed. That was it.
But the fighters are a lot more versed in so many styles nowadays.
Now,
but
you gotta learn.
But the base is pretty much, or that I see, is like Muay Thai and ground fighting.
Yeah. Wrestling's a big base.
Wrestling, yes, I'm sorry. So maybe those. But judo is, I think, making its kind of.
Well, jiu-jitsu has been since the beginning, since Hoist Gracie. I mean, he was one of the
I remember watching my first UFC fight. I want to say it was 95. Okay. There wasn't even any cages. It was in a ring, and they brought it to Hawaii. That was when Chemo was.
Yeah.
Chemo was fighting.
Was it Punishment in Paradise?
I think that's probably what it was. 95?
Yeah, it was a 95.
And that was when it was like, you just had like Muay Thai guy against
Jiu-Jitsu guy.
Jiu-Jitsu guy. And that was when it was, and then people just started, then it truly became mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mixed martial arts stepped up, I think, like maybe around 2001, 2002. Frank Shamrock was the first. He was the first guy to really understand the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, and the kickboxing, and put it all together. And then I came along, and then Chuck Liddell came along, and then Randy Couture came along,
and Liam McGeary came along.
That wasn't until a decade later.
But what do you feel about?
I just want to throw it in there.
What do you feel about because now you're working with Scott Coker,
yes,
and he was Strike Force.
Yeah.
How do you feel with how UFC pretty much merged with Strike Force, and
it wasn't a merge. It was not a merge. It was a takeover. It was a complete monopoly takeover.
And I mean, for me, I'm a big martial arts fan. I train myself, and my friend made her pro debut at that Strike Force. That was the only Strike Force event, and that had I think she fought at like 125, Jenna Castillo, and that was the only fight that they had the women do a pro fight. and then UFC bought them out or took them over, wherever you want to say.
Yeah, well,
and then they eliminated all of these weight classes, and then now it's like, where do the, I'm a big, obviously, women's MMA fan as well, and where do you see the growth of that when you when these takeovers happen? And
well, I mean, that's the funniest thing is Dana White said that there'll never be a woman that'll fight in UFC ever, and then all of a sudden Ronda Rousey comes around, and
he's all about it.
He's all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a money thing. It's strictly a money thing. Chris Cyborg, who's fought in Strikeforce, who's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I help with their management. I help with their training. And you talk about one of the best women in the world. She is the best woman in the world at 145 pounds. There's no one better ever. Ronda Rousey actually was a 145 pounder. She went down to 135 because she didn't want to compete against her. She has an opportunity now to still fight her, and she want to compete against her.
Yeah, she don't even do a catch weight with her.
No, will not do a catch weight. UFC actually inquired. What was it, Invicta?
They inquired Invicta too?
Yes. And
when did they do that?
That was actually at the beginning of this year. It was a quiet hush thing because they don't want people to know that they have an opportunity to make the fight happen. They're cash cow. It's a monopoly, man. Those guys, they're just big bullies. They're big, giant bullies that, we got Bellator that's going to take over everything.
Yeah.
And it's just to be a matter of time. You see the sponsorship dollars that UFC takes in, and the percentage that the fighters get is pretty much almost nothing. And things will change. Just a matter of time. Everything always comes around.
But
and
Bellator
bites
takes
in the
care
butt.
of you guys, though.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
because I hear so much about how the fighters are the I'm not saying least respected, but don't get the respect they deserve, and everybody else gets paid, and everybody else gets their whatever they're gonna get.
Well, I mean,
and they don't take care of you guys.
I mean, this is percentage. I mean, because I was with UFC for 16 years, the percentage is about 5% goes back to the fighters from UFC. 5%. So they keep 95% of pay-per-view. They have video games that they get. The fighters get zero of the video games. Merchandising, they get zero from the merchandising. Now it's a sponsorship thing. It's
Kung left the UFC, right?
Yes.
And I remember
there's a lot of the fighters that get away, but there's a lot of fighters that try to speak out.
Yes.
And they end up getting smashed because UFC are so strong they just keep them hush hush. That's why they hated me so bad, because when I spoke words, I spoke in volume.
And you spoke truth.
And I spoke truth. I always spoke truth, and they hated it. And it was just so funny because Dana White was my manager in the beginning before he was the president for UFC, and I was just fighting for the same things that he was fighting for when he was my manager. He just hated it because I was smart enough to understand it, and I was like, well, I mean, this is a business. And I'm a businessman. I mean, this is.
But you put your lives on the line for this business, though.
I mean, I've done it many a times. I've gone through some serious surgeries. I've had ACL replacement on both my knees. I've had L45, S1 fused in my lower back, C6, C7, disc in my neck, disc replacement 3 and 4, reattached retina in my right eye.
So what keeps you guys going through all those injuries, though?
I'm a Mexican. That's why.
To do it,
I don't know, but why quit? Why say that I'm a quitter? I'm not a quitter. Well, I never quit on anything. I battle through anything that is thrown at me, and I've done it for my whole life. I had 3 choices in my life: dead, in prison, or where I am right now. Because I came from the streets where things weren't great. Yes, I was from Huntington Beach, but at the time I was in Santa Ana from age of 6 to 13 in gangs doing bad things, and I made a difference. I was lucky to see something that I wanted to be. And at that time it was Hulk Hogan, it was Muhammad Ali, it was Mike Tyson. It was like watching these guys going, I want to be like that. And maybe it was just the attention my parents never gave me, that I was dying for attention. But I look at it and it was just the hard work, and the harder I worked, the better I became. And I became a world champion, defended my world title 5 consecutive times, and I'm almost a household name, so I'm setting my goals. Definitely. So on September 19th, when I take the belt from Liam, Liam will get a little more
just shaking
famous,
his head like,
so it's okay.
All right,
so it's a win-win situation for him, so it's all right.
What do you want to tell him?
I need to tell him anything. I'm just going to show him on September 19th, man. I like listening to him. I like to hear what he has to say. I'm learning, still in the early stages of the game. So I mean, he is who he is, and it's this has been an experience these last few days, just to be around like the way that the fighters are. I mean, I have my teammates, they've been around in the game, they help me out, so every experience I'm pulling in. I'm still going to do what I do. You know, it's the cage door closes, we fight. After I shake his hand, we go our separate ways, we go back to our lives, you know, and that's all it is at the end of the day for me.
You guys seem like you have a brotherhood.
Yeah, I think
So to some degree, I mean, you share.
I think it's just the fact that we are two fighters, that we've gone through hard times, and you know, I hear the things of him talking about people saying that he couldn't do it, and he's proven people that he couldn't do it, and that's been my whole life. You know, people since my parents and my family and everyone saying I couldn't do it, and I've proved him wrong over and over and over again. So yeah, you know, there is, but you know, on September 19th, we're here for one thing, and that's that world title, and we're going to put an amazing fight. You know, we're both going to be super healthy. I want to make sure that happens, and we're going to go in and give the fans what they want to see, and it'll be free on Spike TV on September 19th, or buy tickets. Tickets go on sale actually
Today,
yes.
Yeah.
Tickets go on sale today.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much.